what we as founders need to understand is that network really helps, but do a proper balance, right? And always try to help out people and not be in a mode where you ask the question, what is in it for me, right? That should not be the question that you should ask when you think about networks. It should be, how can I help others? And others should also think so that everybody is balanced.
Hey guys, welcome to Backstage with Millionaires. I'm Caleb, your host, and today the guest that we have on the show is Subhendu. He's one of the co-founders of Skillenza, which is an online hiring and talent management platform that he and his co-founders founded back in 2014. So over the last 5 years, they've managed to acquire some pretty prominent customers like Microsoft, Amazon, Dunzo, Rapido, AWS, and a bunch of other ones. But I'm curious to know, back in 2014, and even before then, sort of what was your inspiration for getting into entrepreneurship?
Thank you, Caleb, for having me here. The story starts back in 2006. So there are two folds to the story. And the second fold is in 2010 when I graduated from the college. So back in 2006, while I was in second year in IIT Kharagpur, I became part of this student group called Entrepreneurship Cell, which was created to inculcate startup and entrepreneurship among the students. We used to do a bunch of these activities like a business plan competition, workshops, lecture series with VCs and entrepreneurs so that we can inspire the students to become founders.
Sorry to interrupt you there, but I'm curious, like, even before that, why did you decide to join this cell in the first place? Like, were you interested in business from a young age?
Yeah?
Okay.
That's very old.
I know. Going back to like, so when you were born, tell me. But really, like,
No,
I mean,
are
you from a business family?
No, I'm not from a business family, but I was kind of raised like that, where I used to help my mom. My mom is an insurance agent, so it's like her own business. She's like you can say a self-made person, and I used to help her out in a lot of these documentation. So I'll say, hey, you need the bunch of documentation that you have to do in order to get your business going. I will do it, but I have this hourly rates, so you have to give me like 10 rupees. To do this documentation, and I'll do it for 3-4 hours. I'll make some money, and I'll go and spend. So what happened because of that was, from my early days, I understood what is the ROI on the effort, right? How much you need to do to make money. So I became a lot of, you can say, very independent from that age, and I saw that my mom was self-made. She was doing her own work, and I thought that's a better lifestyle, right? Because she's her own boss. Can I become like that? And the moment I saw the opportunity to join eCell, I just jumped into it. While becoming part of eCell and running the cell for 4 years, we did these activities where we got VCs, entrepreneurs, founders to come to the campus, engage with students, inspire them through lectures and workshops. And that also in turn inspired me to either start a company or at least join a startup. So I just promised myself I'll never join a big company, right? So that was the first step one. Then you can say coincidentally, I got an offer from a startup based out of LA when I graduated in 2010. So they were into RFID tags, which were used to predict the food's quality in a supply chain. And being a food engineer, it was a natural choice. And also I was the 11th employee. So my startup culture was there, right? So I wanted to learn from founders. So we went to LA, we worked with the founders, and one of the ideas of joining the company was to set up a small office in India where we would like to hire engineers. And when we came back to India, the founders gave us a small budget saying, hey, this is your budget for office, this is your budget for hiring, go ahead and build the team. And we started looking around, we took a small space in HSR, we posted it on some of the platforms back then like Naukri and YourStory. Actually, YourStory had a job board back then. There was no angel list, LinkedIn was not very popular, and it was very difficult to convince people to join a startup, that too like a small space in HSR and one team sitting in US. Then I realized that if I'm facing the problem, are there other people who are facing the problem? So what I did was I did a natural extension of my work in IIT. So I started doing a lot of these community initiatives in Bangalore. We started a group called Bangalore Startups, which was a Facebook group of 80,000 plus members. I started Reverse Pitch, which is where VCs would pitch to entrepreneurs. Because of these initiatives that I ran along with my full-time job in Infratab, I got exposure to a lot of entrepreneurs and founders. And I realized that the problem is same. Be it a company like Amazon or a startup like Dunzo, everybody's facing the talent crunch. They're not able to hire the right talent. And in 2014, we decided that this is a problem worth solving. It's a big problem. So let's jump. But the question was, how do we innovate, right? It was always already a crowded market with the likes of job boards like Naukri. LinkedIn was becoming popular. AngelList had just started back then. And there were a bunch of these mom and pop shops, which are recruitment agencies who help companies to hire talent. So how do we innovate or differentiate in the crowded market? And we started our journey with the model of hackathons. These are 24-hour events where developers come together and work on a problem statement.
So I'm somebody who's never been to a hackathon before. I've never participated in a hackathon. To be honest, I don't know a whole lot about hackathons. So if you could, tell me what differentiates that method of sourcing talent versus the more traditional methods of CVs, resumes, and job interviews.
So if you have known the traditional model, so the way it works is that these recruiters will pick up some keywords, which is based on their biases, like for example, college pedigree or company or some technology. For example, let's say IIT or BITS or Flipkart, and just do the keyword search on the resume. And if it's not there, they will just reject the resume, which is a bad way of doing it because in today's world, a lot of people are acquiring skills on their own through these online courses, boot camps, right? So there is a better need of a lens, right, which will give a clear picture or a better picture on the person. And hackathons tend to be that new lens, right? So what we understood was that we don't need to create more talent, but we need a better lens of finding people, right? And so we started doing these hackathons. And you can imagine hackathons as shows like American Idol or Dance in India, where people come from various backgrounds, from tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 cities, people who don't have professional training, but they come, they dance, they perform, they sing, and win prizes and make careers, right? So you can imagine hackathons as American Idol of software engineers, where these software engineers come from various backgrounds, various pedigrees, and come and showcase their skill, right? These hackathons are typically 24-hour events happening on a Saturday morning till Sunday. And it's always a team effort. So people form teams, and these teams are very complementary skills. People who are back-end engineers, front-end engineers, data scientists will come together, a team of 3 to 4 members, just like a startup, like a very newly formed, minted startup, work for 24 hours, showcase what they have done, right? So all these presentations happen on Sunday morning in front of the organizer or the company who's doing this hackathon. And based on how they perform, some of the times they've got the job on that day. So in fact, our early customers, our angel customers like Stazilla and Ola, have offered jobs to the winners on the very day, and they've accepted and joined them. So not only hackathons gave a better lens to find out engineers, it also gave a platform or a launch pad for companies to do talent branding. So a lot of these companies started engaging and building pipelines of passive candidates who would not come for a traditional interview because they're not interested in the job, but they'll come for the hackathon just for the fun of it, right? Because it's a 24-hour event, there is food, there is fun, there is music. They come, they showcase their skills, win prizes, and then the CTO is thinking, hey, I like this guy. He's not looking for the job now, but let's talk to him after 3 months when he's ready. So you build the relationship, right? And that's how the use case of hackathons from a 24-hour hiring event started becoming a platform for talent branding, finding more solutions, product building, idea generation, and that's how we also grow as a company.
Okay, so that's how you guys started, was with the hackathons, setting them up. Seems like the people that you worked with, the customers that you worked with initially were pretty happy with the results. But were there any problems that you guys faced in the early days of Skillenza?
That's another good question. So when I started the company, I knew what I'm signing up for. So startups, as they say, is a roller coaster ride, right? It's never honky-dory. So we had our fair share of challenges. So a couple of them were basically, it was a new model, right? When we went beyond our initial set of customers, as I call them as angel customers, right? Guys who just trusted us, saying, hey, let's do it. We like the idea, let's do it, let's see where it goes from there, right? Beyond that, when we started engaging with more customers, as we raised our first angel round, then obviously the pressure was to grow the company, right? Initial POC was done, there was product market fit. Now how do you scale and do more of these same stuff, right? Go to more customers, go beyond the comfort of Bangalore and go to other cities like Delhi or Bombay. So there what was happening was when we started selling it to our customer. So our customer was generally the HR person or the recruiter in the company who's used to a very comfort model of getting resumes whenever they like from their agency partners. Right?
They don't want to try something new.
They don't want to try something new. They're saying, why should I pay you upfront and I have to do this 24-hour thing? I'll just rather put it on some platform like Naukri or send it to some bunch of recruiters. They will send me resumes, I'll do interviews and I'll pay them as I hire people, right? So it was a success-based model previously, and it was difficult for us to change the mindset from a success-based model to a prepaid subscription model, right? So we had to kind of sell very hard initially to the HR fraternity, to the recruiter fraternity. And also on the other side, what we realized as we grow from 0 users or 0 engineers on the platform to some 10,000 engineers within 6-7 months, we realized that this is like the beta users who are really excited about hackathons. Probably they know about hackathons, they have attended, but then how do I convince my 10,000th engineer to come onto my platform and come to a hackathon for 24 hours and showcase their skills? They're saying, dude, I'll just go for an interview on a weekend for a couple of hours, I'll get the job. Why should I come for 24 hours? What is the benefit of coming? And since we are a marketplace, the onus was to educate both parties, right? So we started doing campaigns of saying, why should you come to hackathons? So initial success stories of people who got the job within 24 hours, we had to show what salary jumps they got. Like these were the guys from some small services companies who were not making much money, but they had good hidden talent and they were discovered through the hackathon, and the salary jumps they got was at least 2.5 to 3 times. Because they were anyways getting paid less, right? So to kind of, you can say normalize, they got a 3x jump on their current salary. So they were excited. For company, it was still good talent at a decent price. So those case studies were what we would used to share. So we created videos like this with a lot of our initial set of engineers who got jobs through us, and we would just put it on YouTube and send it email to our new users who were getting onboarded, do content marketing, and we started educating the market. And what we saw, the initial change that happened in probably around 2018 is when there was a tipping point. We saw a lot of companies getting inbound. Okay, they're coming to us saying that, hey, we want to do hackathon. We've heard great things about hackathon. And we also know that you are one of the platforms who do this and we would like to explore. So from, you can say a push sales, it started becoming pull, right? But it took us almost 2.5 years to be there. So which was result of content marketing, sharing success stories, and also great word of mouth from some of these angel customers who got good results.
Yeah, I think now, 2018, 2019, and now moving into, I guess this video will be posted in 2020. Hackathons are pretty well known, they're pretty popular. And there are some other players in this space, right? In terms of people who arrange hackathons and set them up for companies. So I'm curious to know what differentiates Skillenza from some of the competition?
So I think, as they say, if there is no competition in a certain market, then you are probably in the wrong market, right? And we have seen competition, and it's very healthy competition. We learn a lot from our competitors, and we do share notes sometimes whenever we can. And what we have done differently is that we have understood the market very well from a hiring perspective. So a lot of our hackathons that happens on the platform are geared toward building the talent branding of the company, helping them to build a talent pipeline. So a lot of curation happens. And since the curation happens, what we have done is we have always tried to focus on more senior professionals or lateral professionals, as they call it, right? So when companies want to spend money going beyond the traditional route, they want the maximum ROI, right? And for any company, if you speak to, whether it's angel funded to a company like Amazon, the problem out there is the lateral piece, right? Where you want senior professionals to come and work with you, right? 3 to 4 or 6 years of experience. So that has been our major focus. So we have done very well on that. In fact, you can say majority of our users on a platform are professionals, ranging from 3 to 6 years of experience. That's one of the areas where we've tried to differentiate ourselves. Second is, since we work very closely with our customers, we have built a platform in a way where not only you can host these 24-hour hackathons, but now you can engage developers over a period of 3 months. just like a game, right? So you can gamify the whole process, make these levels like a game, or we call it as stages, and you can create a funnel of people who go through that levels, right? So that has helped companies to engage a lot of people at the top of the funnel, but still only talk to few guys, right? And take them through a logical way of funneling rather than just doing one 24-hour hackathon. And these kind of initiatives have helped brands like Unilever or Yes Bank to innovate, right? So as we progress with the model of hackathons and the platform, there was these inward requests coming from traditional companies like banks, retailers, manufacturing companies saying, hey, we don't want to hire technical talent, but we want to do digital disruption, right? We cannot onboard them as full-time employees, but we still want to solve problems using AI, machine learning, AR, VR. How do we do it? So we said, okay, fine, let's do these, as we call them as innovation challenges, or 3-month-long hackathons, right? And let people solve the problem for you. You don't hire them, you give them some money as prize money, compensate them for their work, and own the IP. So that became a second model of revenue stream, which we call as open innovation, right? So we have worked with Yes Bank, we have worked with Unilever, and still their programs are going on where they are innovating and doing digital disruption using our platform.
I just want to throw a question at you. Sure. What importance do you place on networks, people's networks, especially for entrepreneurs? How important is it to have a solid and substantial network?
So there is a common saying that you are average of 5 people you hang out with, and I feel it's very true. In fact, that was one of the reasons I went to IIT. Even if I would have got a better engineering stream in other colleges, I chose to go to IIT because I wanted to hang out with the smartest of the smartest in the country, right? As they say, la creme, da creme. So that was one of the reasons I went there, and that really paid off in the coming years. And my initial set of customers, as I call them angel customers, my initial set of investors, they all came from my personal network because I was doing e-cell, a lot of these activities in Bangalore. And suddenly I realized that, okay, these guys will become customers, these guys will become investors. So let's form a company and quickly do things, right? So network really helps. But then a lot of people go overboard and spend a lot of time on just doing networking and not able to kind of harness benefit out of it. So there is a good balance that you have to play. And when you build these networks, let's say founder networks, or you engage with investors, meet people, always be in a helping mode. Like basically try to give out more. And I believe in karma, so I know it'll come back. And it still comes back to me. As I would have helped somebody like 7 years back, and suddenly that guy is now a founder and he becomes a customer, right? So I think what we as founders need to understand is that network really helps, but do a proper balance, right? And always try to help out people and not be in a mode where you ask the question, what is in it for me, right? That should not be the question that you should ask when you think about networks. It should be, how can I help others? And others should also think so that everybody is balanced.
Sure, yeah, for sure. And I think, coming back to that balance idea, I think sometimes people get a little bit carried away, like they just try to make as many connections as they possibly can on LinkedIn. And it's like, but the quality of those connections is not there, right? You have to have personal connections.
The depth of the connection,
And giving to people is a great way to make those good, solid connections where someone feels like, okay, this guy, he helped me out, right? And now at some point, I'd love to return the favor.
In fact, tomorrow what I'm going to do is I'll put up a Google form on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, and ask people, these are 5 things I can do for you. Let me know what I can do for you. And every day I'll do one of them. 365 days, I'll help 365 people.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, I already took one of my 365 from 2019. We're filming it in 2019, people, even though it's going to be live in 2020. And coming back to networks too, when Subhendu walked in the door of Excel Launchpad, there were already people who were seeing him and being like, hey, after the interview, come meet with me. So that just is a testament to the fact that his network is huge and very strong. These people are, sitting in Excel Launchpad. So, okay, so last question to wrap things up is going to be, what are the top 3 learnings that you've, besides the fact that you need to have a strong network, that you've obtained over the last couple of years as an entrepreneur?
So one of the things that really I learned it very hard way while doing the startup, and I don't think it's there in a lot of these articles or books that we read, is the culture of the company is very important, right? So as they say, culture eats strategy for breakfast every day. So as founders, what we should focus is a lot inwards, building a great culture in the company. Because at the end of the day, the battle is not on the founder's shoulder, but every team member, right? So it's a team effort, and if the team works together for the goal, towards the goal, it'll really help. So try to set up a good culture, and it took me almost 2-3 years to figure that out, to build a great culture, so that we today are on a growth path, right? So that is one of the first learnings. Second learning is that try to remove this inertia of not getting into a comfort, going out of the comfort zone. So try to remove the inertia of not going out of the comfort zone. So what happens is, I've seen a lot of founders saying that, hey, I'm a techie, I don't know how to do sales, so I'll try to find a sales guy as a co-founder, right? Somebody will say, I'm not a techie, I don't know how to code, so I have to find a product guy, I have to find a tech guy to start the company. So I think we have to go beyond that. In today's online world, it's very easy to pick up new skills, right? You can learn coding, you can learn product management, you can learn design. So try to be holistic. I tried myself a lot. I still learn a lot from Medium, or go to some of these blogs. For example, Shekhar Kirani's blogs, right, around SaaS, or Intercom's blogs around product management. So I try to learn, because as founders, the team expects us to be generalists. So we cannot say, hey, I don't know answer to this, I have to find an expert. And it's very expensive to find an expert every time, right? So try to be generalist and try to learn new things, get out of a comfort zone, remove that inertia. And third, let me think about the third one. Network is gone, right? That's my favorite one.
Yeah, that's fine, that's fine.
Third would be, yes, I think that's also a skill, because that's what I learned, is like, how do you do business planning, which like we are not from business backgrounds, we're engineers. It's again a new skill that I had to learn, right? Go and understand how to write a business plan, like do financial modeling, cash flow, right?
I know, every entrepreneur goes through this process, and I've heard like it's actually a substantial barrier for people, right? Where all of a sudden, we need to do this. Like, we're not doing this, and we need to. I was just, when I was talking to Pallav, Fusion Charts, he was talking about how they had no clue about like HR policies, or like, you know, what kinds of days off you can give your employees, what vacation days, or like weekends.
I know.
You know, because especially if you've not worked in a traditional company yourself, right? You have no concept of how it works. Oh, you also didn't.
I was in. My first job was startup. 11th employee. I was in LA. We had a car. We were always roaming around California, doing work, and then roaming around. Came back here. We started looking for people. It was still a small team here. Then I jumped to my startup. So the only time that I've been to a large company is that they're a customer. Their office is that they're customer.
And that's not the time when you should be asking, hey, can you give me some advice on HR policies?
And then if you hire a consultant to do that, it will be very expensive.
Yeah, exactly.
And today, a lot of these initiatives are there who will give you free sample documents, right? So I think that's the inertia is in the head. Like, oh, I don't know this. But if you take one weekend and just, you'll figure it out. You'll figure out coding, you'll figure out product management. I think it's not that difficult.
And we have all of human knowledge that's ever been accumulated on the internet.
On the internet, yes. I love internet.
You really don't need to go too far out of your way. It'll just take time and energy. That's the bottom line. So first of all, thank you for coming on the show.
My pleasure.
And if you guys want to know more about Subhendu, or you want to know more about Skillenza, I'll be leaving a couple of links down below. You can go check those out. Also, if you have any questions about Subhendu's journey, we'd love it if you could leave a comment down below. And also, we'd love it if you could share this video with anybody that you think would be interested in it. Thank you so much for coming out.
My pleasure.